We go live to Venezuela. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez offers an international press conference on the referendum of next December 3rd over the Essequiba territory and to condemn Guyana's pretension on the matter.
They have attended this conference summoned by President Maduro's Vice President of Sovereignty and Minister of Popular Defense is with us. Also, historian Samuel, Ambassador of Venezuela. Greetings to all foreign ministers and the rest of officials. We have considered very important to update the country of something relevant that occurred yesterday in this chain of provocations by Guyana's government. What happened yesterday was a demonstration, was a proof of despair. It has no legality whatsoever. As President Maduro informed in his program yesterday, the Guyana pleaded the International Court of Justice provisional measures against the referendum on December 3rd. Specifically, the Guyanese government referred to the questions of Essequiba, which we are going to review. This is a very outrageous plea, because the Guyanese government aims at interfering Venezuela's sovereignty, and even more asking the ICJ to eradicate the Constitution of Venezuela. It's a barbarism to intend substituting the constitutional law of Venezuela, violating the United Nations Charter and the international order. In this specific case, I'm going to explain all articles from our Constitution. Article 1, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela is free and independent, regardless its values of justice and freedom. So, independence, freedom, sovereignty, and territorial integrity and national determination are very valuable for us. In this So now let's see Article 71. The National Assembly approved unanimously to summon to call the Venezuelan people for consulting this transcendental measure. We are here talking about the political rights of Venezuelans of consulting of participating in our democracy, in our constitution. The deal of political rights comprises a right of consulting referendum, which is in Article 71. And you know that the issue of Essequiba region is very crucial for us. So all people, all bodies of all governmental governments are all bodies of our government are going to participate, and so the people. This historic controversy has to be solved out. The Essequibo territory is undoubtedly of Venezuela. We will. I'm gonna explain to you the plundering of this territory that is ours. We went to the court, and the United Kingdom never has any did not own this territory. So Venezuela is calling for defending their sacred rights on a referendum. Another article, very important to point out, any disposition of this charter Guyanese government has made a very outrageous, a very barbaric appealing, because they violate international legality that is backed by the Geneva Agreement of 1966. An international organization that opposing Venezuelan regulations don't have any legality. So on December 3rd, all Venezuelans are going to participate on this referendum. What happened yesterday? The request of stopping this referendum is completely insane. It's completely illegal. It's completely absurd. So this request violates the principles of self-determination of the peoples. So we have defended with our lives our constitution and our right to the Essequibo territory. So Guyanese government is willing to end the order in Venezuela. I think that we can date back to history what have been Venezuelan resistance in the face of the U.S. blockade and the West. I think the Venezuelan people have shown their courage. So what they are willing to defend, what they are willing to do to defend their constitution, their legal order, I think there are lots of examples to show, to display what we are capable of. So don't urge the Venezuelan people, don't provoke the Venezuelans, because we are a peace nation. We stand up for peace, for the Constitution, for defending our peace. But we know how to defend ourselves in all fields. You have to let that clear. We are going to defend our rights on the Essequiba Guyana. So, Guyanese president was boosted by ExxonMobil, Transnational, and the U.S. Southern Command to make this request, but we are going to defend that territory that is ours from centuries. Well, the first question: do you agree to reject, by all means, the fraudulent the fraudulent 1899 regulation? Well, I want to show you this map of how was Venezuela before. This is Venezuela. We were born from that. There have been a manipulation of maps because the United Kingdom was aware of the natural resources that were there. So we have been the United Kingdom deprived from us the territory gradually, little by little. So that territory was usurped in 5 days on the 1899 regulation. So they took that territory without our consent. So we reject all the time this fraud. So in 1966, we signed the Geneva Agreement because we know that there was a claim of Venezuela on that territory. Well, the question 3, do you agree with the historical position of not recognizing the International Court of Justice to sort out this controversy? They are very moral. In 1966, Venezuelans people must know, and international community, when the Geneva Agreement was signed, this discussion was at that time, and there was no such agreement because Guyana doesn't want it. Well, I'm gonna talk as a lawyer that sides mutually agree on sides. If they agree, they could go to the International Court of Justice. This was a provisional cost, so both sides could choose this way. So I'll invite you to read the Geneva Agreement. There was no such item because there was no agreement. Guyana didn't want it at that time. That's why it wasn't. So that's why Guyanese government violates the Geneva Agreement of 1966. Again, why this happened? Because in 2015, when good offices have been stopped because of the demise of an official, there appeared ExxonMobil company. We have made some discoveries of fuel in that territory. So what the Guyana did, ended negotiations because the government had in mind another plan. They didn't want negotiations. Always avoid negotiations. So they took illegality, leaving behind the Geneva Agreement, and go by itself to request, to claim the validity of so what the neighbor country is looking for is to disguise to get that territory. Well, when the United Kingdom provided independence to Guyana, Guyanese people don't have, Guyanese government doesn't have any document that proves their ownership of that territory, but Venezuela has. So that's why Guyana is in the illegal frame. So now let's refer to question 5. Do you agree with the government stance of Essequiba plan to include that population from Essequiba as Venezuelans? So Venezuela aims at ending and negotiating a practical solution for both sides. So, and including that territory to Venezuela in the map.
Pero hace una reserva expresa. En esa reserva la voy a leer. Dice, y lo dice ante la Asamblea General de las Naciones Unidas, Venezuela desea dejar formal
Venezuela wishes
que su voto afirmativo
to
para que ingrese el nuevo Estado de Guyana en esta organización no implica en manera alguna renuncia a sus derechos de soberanía sobre el territorio situado a la margen izquierda del Essequibo. Ni reconoce en forma alguna el llamado laudo arbitral de París de 1899 sobre la frontera de Venezuela y la Guayana Essequibo británica. Reserva semejante a esta fue formulada por Venezuela el 21 de junio en el Consejo de Seguridad.
On June 21, the Venezuela. No.
Yo quiero mostrar el mapa de Guyana.
Well, I want to show you the map of Venezuela.
El que está enmarcado en el recuadro.
What is there in the square? That Venezuela recognizes Guyana as a republic from its birth. On the left, the territory. Well, I want to have a pause. I want you to see the map of Venezuela. How this usurpation occurred. And if you compare the situation of Palestine and Israel to this territory usurpation, which is provoked by the same empire. So it's a way of proceeding without knowledge and without knowledge of the international rights, usurping a territory that doesn't belong to them for geopolitical reasons. But it's an usurpation, it's a robbery. It's a robbery of a territory by someone who doesn't belong to it. And so Guyana is inherited this robbed territory from the United Kingdom. So it doesn't belong to them. So Guyanese President Ali said he won't give a millimeter of that territory, but that territory doesn't belong to him because it's a robbed territory. Which in the Guyana inherited from the United Kingdom. So there is no way of owning this territory. So we have to comply with the Geneva Agreement of 1966. You know that there are a lot of stories and myths around the issue where Guyana is sponsoring expenses of ExxonMobil company. Guyana has extended its illegality and violation of the law, which is extremely serious, as it is the fact of having a sea, of having right to a sea that is disputed. There is a ground controversy there, which is in process of claim. So they cannot have any right to that sea yet. But it's curious because Guyana is asking what would be the result of the claim at the ICJ. So they said, they assured the sea is theirs and the territory is theirs, without delimiting the sea or the ground territory. They exclude the maritime territory. So Guyanese government goes beyond any limits. So they just miss to take the space. So it's rudeness and barbarism. International community knows Venezuela is right because President Maduro has already explained it. President Maduro has urged for dialogue, for respect of international law and international right and international of the sea. So they have been doing all kinds of violations before, and Guyanese government is fulfilling orders from the U.S. Southern Command and the ExxonMobil. That's why they do it, because they are interested in the plenty of oil and natural resources in that territory of Essequiba. Well, I would like to show you the fiscal regimen of oil there. More enriching for transnationals is there is the United Kingdom and the second Guyana. So from this illegal exploitation, just 1/3 goes to the people and the rest goes to ExxonMobil's transnational. So the United States and Guyana are partners to attack Venezuela. That's why we have seen two joint military operations against Venezuela. They have been preparing to threaten Venezuela, to attack Venezuela. So we have raised this claim. We have said in 2015, 2016, all years at the United Nations to activate good offices to avoid that the statement of Latin America as a territory for peace be violated. So we have asked several times. We have to neutralize that perverse that means society that aims at attacking Venezuela. So here we can see, we can continue seeing the graph. So the benefits that Venezuela gets from the oil is 30%, while Guyana's is just less than 10%. So there you can see the incomes and the projection of oil. Well, as you know, Guyana is now intending to say that it has the highest growth rate So the incomes and the human development of Guyana are the same from 2020 to nowadays, and before in 2015, just the same. The lowest human capital is the lowest in the region. So we must ask President Ali, do you work for ExxonMobil company or for the Guyanese people? Because your people, the country is overwhelming poor, according to international reports. So it is crystal clear that Guyanese government is working for other people. They are not working for Guyanese. They are not working for the Caribbean. So when have we heard President Ali summoned a summit for the Caribbean for for solving IT's problem? No. The Guyana is working for ExxonMobil and gaining illegal profits. So they know. They search to disguise their actions. What we have seen, the escalation of provocations by Guyanese government, sooner or later, wanted or not, they will have to negotiate with Venezuela. And so now they are attacking our migrants in a very cowardly act, that are in that situation, but because of not respecting international rights for our blockade. So stop with these violations. So Essequiba territory, Essequiba dispute has to be solved. It is either us or theirs, ours or theirs. Essequiba territory is part of the legacy of Simón Bolívar. So that's why we are defending it right now. We keep ourselves on the legal track. So we reiterate, there's only another one way out. Don't let go with the U.S. and the ExxonMobil company. So don't let interfere by others. Have some dignity as a Caribbean people. You have to negotiate with your neighbor Venezuela. So we are going to referendum as a legitimate right as a people to defend our sacred.
We were listening to the statements of Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez. She denounced the chain of provocations of the government of Guyana over the Essequibo, and she also refers to the move of Guyana to go to the International Court of Justice to demand action to prevent the holding of a referendum on December 3rd in Venezuela. Rodriguez said this is an unprecedented action that violates international laws and the UN Charter, and is a blatant violation of Venezuela's sovereignty. The Vice President stated that the holding of the referendum is in full compliance with the Constitution of the Bolivarian Republic and it will be held in defense of Venezuela's national integrity. Delcy Rodriguez also made clear that there is plenty of evidence which has already been presented before the International Court of Venezuela's rightful right over the Essequiba. The Vice President made it clear that no foreign power nor organization will lead the course of Venezuela. Rodriguez added that over the years, Venezuela has proven its resilience and that of the Venezuelan people, and as before, Venezuela will always defend its rights. We will have more updates in upcoming news briefs. Stay tuned with teleSUR.